Kitty like a cat, and welcome to my Flosstube channel. Today I have a lot of stuff for you. I think I started 6 things this month at least. And I'm going to try something a little different. It usually takes me about 3 hours to edit these, and so I'm going to try to do minimal editing. I'm a little nervous about it, but I think a little less polish is okay if it means I can get these out. And I've noticed that the floss tubes that feel kind of like a Zoom hangout, you know, like you're just listening to your friend talk on the phone or something, are the ones that I come back to over and over. So hopefully right now I can be your friend. Thank you everybody for coming back, and if you're new here, welcome. As I said, my name is Kitty and this is a video about cross stitch. I'm gonna hop right into it with a finish. This is the finish. There was a whip last month. This is a Patreon chart from Stitch Sprout. I have modified it quite a bit. So the design is the percolator with the fish in it and then the chevron behind it, and then on the actual percolator it has backstitched. There was a fish in the percolator. It's a line from Twin Peaks. This is a Twin Peaks like fandom stitch. I wanted the phrase to kind of like pop out a little more. And I liked when I finished the fish in the percolator, I liked them how they were. I didn't want to put backstitching over them. So what I have done is I kind of just charted it to like flow around the design. And then once I had done that, there was like a blank spot here. So I put the little like symbol from Twin Peaks there, and I think it fits perfectly. Obviously it's not FFO'd, but I probably will finish it in this hoop. The fabric is a Be Stitch Me fabric. I don't know the name of it, but I could probably figure it out. And I thought it went really well with the called for floss. Oh, one other change. The chevron was called for in this dark blue. All the threads were like a gradient of this one blue shade. And I wanted it to pop a little more and look a little bit more like how it does in the show. So I did it in 3371, the brown black color. Okay. I'm not necessarily gonna like stick to the chunks of like starts, whips, finishes, whatever, because I don't know, it makes sense in the way that I stacked them to me. So my next the next project I will show you is my big start for this month. So I did say I started a lot of things, but don't you worry, I did start the things that I plan to start as well. So my big start, which is also it's the biggest project as far as stitch count goes that I have ever embarked upon, and I'm really excited about it. So this is the famous Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow by Carriage House Samplings. And I will be modifying it. I have removed this middle double block and this kind of sort of at sea block here, and then I'm doing it as a 3x3 grid. With all the rest of them, I have swapped a couple of them, but the first 3 here will be as they are. And then I've swapped a few things in the other 2 rows. I'm stitching it on it's the Kitten Stitcher Wabi Sabi Fabrics, I think. I don't know the color. Sorry. A lot of these I obtained like before Flosstube, so I wasn't necessarily as diligent with documenting as I try to be now. But I'm stitching it on a 36 count with 1 strand of the called for DMC. So what I've done is, because there's a lot of flosses, The floss list is like, that's the floss list. Okay, so I have just put on floss drops the ones that are for the block I'm doing right now, which is the top left block. And then what I did, just to make it easier for myself in the future, I have the rest of them in here, but I have put them in chronological number order on some floss drops, so when I go to add to what I have. Okay, my dog just woke up. False alarm, he was just making adorable little noises in his kennel. Okay, so what I've done is put them, you know, in chronological order so that when I need to set up the next block, I just have to grab them. So, currently, this is everything that's called for in the first block, plus I did plus 733. And I will show you why. So this is my progress. I think I did pretty good. My plan is to put this away for August and then pick it back up in October. And I hope that I'll pretty much finish this block then. Most of what I have left is fill-in. So the only motif I have left, there's a skeleton here. And then I need to fill in the grass and fill in the middle house thing. There's spider webs in these top corners, but I'm going to do those at the end because unfortunately I think if I do them now, they'll get sort of crinkled up and wouldn't look as nice. So the reason I got out 733 is because I wanted the grass to be sort of a yellowy, icky green color. And it was called for 834, which that honestly, like, it looks cooler right now. I have sunlight. It's a really dull straw color, and the whole time I was stitching this, I was like, I can't wait to get to the green grass, and then it wasn't green. So I just pulled out one of the other colors that was in on these. I said, you know, there's so many colors in this, I'm sure there's a color that I would like, and there was. So I just went ahead and put it on a floss drop and used it, and I'll be using it to fill in that grass. I think the only other alteration, well, okay, I'll go through some alterations. There were like random initials on some of the tombstones, and they meant nothing to me. So I couldn't figure out if like they didn't seem like punny or anything. They might have been significant to the designer. So what I did on this one, I kind of charted a little, I don't know, simple tombstone angel. Put my initials on these two. And then these three, it says 2025, 220, and then I'll fill it in when I finish. So I've already personalized it. Don't have to worry about that going forward. Another change is this is going to be a spider. He has backstitched legs. But he's supposed to be like pumpkin orange. And I made him brown because it looked weird to me. I thought he was a pumpkin. And then my last personalization, I think, will probably be the skeleton. He's just sort of hovering, like he's not standing on anything, and I think I'm going to bring the grass over a bit so that he's like standing on something. And I really like this color, so I don't mind using it more. Okay, so one last time, this is where I got. The interesting thing is on the model, I didn't even notice the ghosts, but I think they show up well on my fabric, so I'm excited about that. My fabric's not showing super accurate. It's a little warmer, but it is a greenish neutral. It's lovely, and I'm really happy with my choice because it's quite a bit, well, I don't know if quite a bit, but it's different than the called for. And again, this is one strand on 36 count. I don't think I could ever do 2 strands on a project this big. That'd be so much floss, and I would get tired of 2-strand stitching takes me a little longer because I am a little particular about how my stitches look. And so I think it would just take an annoying amount of time. And I stitch in hand most of the time. Okay, it's in this bag, a little thriller bag that I got in a box a long time ago. But I needed this is like big. It's a big bag. I needed a nice big one, I felt, because there's a lot of flosses and whatnot. Okay, and a sort of unexpected start, but one that I was glad that I had the motivation to do, was one that I was supposed to start in July, but I did. I started in July and I hated the fabric I picked out. Nothing looked right, and all the colors just, they looked weird. It wasn't for me. So we're gonna go to the seaside for a moment for a little while. This was part of that. I got into seaside vibes. I live in a landlocked area, but I've always loved the sea. Beach vacations were always my favorite. Any time of year. We would go in the fall a lot, or early spring, so it was like cold. I love a cold beach. And my partner is from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, so I just got into this, like, we go there usually once a year. I miss it right now. We haven't been, it's about a year since we've been, but we're not going until December. So I pulled out Riley Harbor. Again, I was supposed to start this last month. I tried, or in July, and I attempted, and then I hated it, so I scrapped it. But now, oh, come on. Let me see if I wrote it down. I didn't. Hold, please. Okay, I'm glad I looked, because I thought this was a Be-Stitch Me, but it is definitely not. It's, Picture This Plus Run. I bought a cut of this like a couple years ago because I had seen other people using it, and then the cut I got it didn't have like the same undertones that I was expecting, so I kind of put it away, a little disappointed or whatever, but I knew I would use it eventually, and I pulled it out for this, and it's perfect. Like, you wouldn't think, I don't think you would think, because, okay, mine's a little, and again, the sunlight's kind of washing this out, it's a little darker than this even, but I just think that the colors, I laid the colors out, everything popped, and I'm just generally, like, really happy with it. So right now, called for, so far I think it's, what I've done is I have MPIs and DMC. So this is my little conversion, and I've, for myself, I've highlighted the ones I'm using the MPI or the DMC for, and then at the bottom I made a note to myself that for the black, I have the MPI black. I have 310 and I also have 3371, and I'm just kind of exchanging them as I see fit. The only little thing is I use one of the yellows here in this window, because sometimes I like, when there's a window, or a house with a bunch of windows, I like to make it look like the light's on in like one or more of them. I'm going to show you the floss because I just love them. The only one that I really changed like significantly is this blue color. I'm going to use for the waves, and it is quite different. It's quite different than the called for, but it's like chronologically really close to it in the DMCs. It's like 2 higher, I think. But yeah, anyway. The only floss I haven't kitted yet is the whale is in a variegated, and I haven't picked what I'm going to use for that yet. That'll be going away probably till next summer, if I had to guess, but I'm really glad that I actually got to start it. I hope my audience isn't off-putting to anyone. I've been moving around just because I think, to me, it makes it a little more interesting, but also I have a window. The window's kind of like on that side of the room, so I was trying to see if I could improve the lighting situation, but it is kind of that way, so we're working with what we have. Okay, so I have several smalls to show you that I started, and the first one I'll kind of lump in with Riley Harbor because I actually started it before Riley Harbor, and the reason was that I started reading this book, Land's End, and it's sort of a travel memoir kind of a thing. It's nonfiction. It's but I think it's more like really it's a love letter to Provincetown, Cape Cod, in Massachusetts. And Provincetown is my partner has lived and performed there several times. I've only been there once, but we're going again this winter, and I'm really excited. That is obviously December is like definitely the off season. It's a little strip of land in the middle of the ocean, but as I said, I love the beach at winter. I don't know why. I just do. And so it made me miss the coast a lot. And so I pulled out, sorry, zipper. This little bent crate I got. It's a series, but I just got this one. I'm probably not going to do the other ones. So I gotta focus. You can see it's just a little beach house. I would really like the whale for some reason. And I started and finished this one. It did not take long. I pulled, I'm gonna put that to the side for now so it's not making noise for you. I had a piece of 28 count Mystic Gray Zweigart linen, and then I just pulled floss from Stash. You can tell this is just like, I told myself, I said, I don't want to bobinate anything. Don't look through your skeins, just look through things that are already ready because it was so small. So this is my finish. I love it. Oh, I had so much fun. I had so much fun doing this. It was just so enjoyable. I don't stitch on 28 count a ton anymore, but when I do, it's like so comforting and nostalgic. I stitched this one in hand, that's why it's rolled up. The only thing you'll notice, it comes with a little, like it literally comes with a snap. And you snap it on, like, okay. It comes with a snap, right? And you like snap it, like once that goes on the back, the other on the front, snap it on. You don't like sew it in. And so I didn't want it to put it on it before I iron it. So I'll probably put the snap, I'll keep the little pattern with it, and put the snap on it before I finish it. I want to frame it, honestly, because I think it would be cute. Like, right now we live in an apartment with one bathroom, but hopefully in the future, and I've decorated it with my stuff, but hopefully in the future he'll have a bathroom that can be his, and the plan is to make it sort of Cape Cod themed, so I would like it to go in there for him. Alright, so that was my little dealing with my landlocked situation. I have this like bag full of smalls, so that's what is crinkling. Alright, this next one's exciting. I started House of Cam by Cam the Stitcher's Fade Into You. It's this cute little like humanoid sun and moon couple. I think they're really cute, and they remind me of, you know, the whimsigoth aesthetic of my childhood, and so I pulled colors that felt reminiscent of, like, there's this coffee shop in my hometown, and inside they had, you know, those like metal star lamps and like local artist paintings. We had a liberal arts college in my town, so there was a lot of paintings and just like little, I don't know, wooden statues and stuff. You get the vibe. A 90s coffee shop, right? With a bunch of artists that work there. And so I pulled these colors and the hold on. I'm gonna put this book behind it because I don't want the light to wash out the fabric. But I pulled this fabric that I think is just, oh, it's so, ooh, it's gonna be so good. Hold on, let me look what it is. I leave the tags on them now so that I can tell you. It's called Petrol. Okay. Anyway, it's a beautiful, beautiful deep teal color. So let me pull out, I'm going to show you the floss against it one more time. Oh, okay. Do you see the vision? Do you see the vision? Okay. So I used this Brin and Needle Beltane for the moon, and I think it turned out so good. So I did that in one evening. I just wanted to get it started, and I'm really excited about it. I think it's gonna look so good. So that was that. I have one more small in here to show you. I'm gonna shove these back in here. Sorry. I took the whale out because it's done, so I need to put him in my finishes pile. Okay, I just have a scan of this one because it's from a magazine. So I'm gonna flash it really quickly. But you won't be able to stitch it. This is, I think I just felt Halloween for a minute. I wanted another start. I wanted to stitch on, okay, I really enjoyed stitching that whale on 28 count, and I wanted to stitch something else on like a stiffer, larger count linen. And so I just basically, I think what I did was I went through my stash to see what fabrics I had, and then I tried to go through my stash to see what kind of pattern I had that I could start. I'm very excited about this. Again, this is a scan I made, but it's from the October 2015 just cross stitch. So don't think it's a Halloween. It's just October. Yeah. Okay. See him? He's a little kitty cat. Okay, that's it. That's all you get. He's a crazy looking little kitty cat. He looks so bonkers. I haven't gotten the kitty cat in, which is why I wanted to show you. I've just started the border. And you can see I started it over here in 2 strands of 310. And then I was going to sleep that night and I remembered that I love stitching, this is a 32 count for lamb's wool. I love stitching 1 strand of sulky cotton, like spun cotton, or whatever it's called, on 32 count Zweigart linen. So that is what I switched it out. They both look good. I just really like it. It's fun. So this is what I have so far. I'm very excited to get him done. Obviously, like, I think this was like 2 sittings, so it's not going to take long to stitch that one, and then I'll sew it into something, into a little ornament probably. One more start, and then we only have 1 whip. Okay. This was a planned start for August. Blackbird Inn. This one's Little House Needleworks. I pulled my own colors. It's called for an overdyes that I just didn't have, and there's no DMC conversion. I thought there would be, but there's not. So I just pulled some stuff from stash, and Yeah, hold on. This is how far I got. So I got that little checkerboard. I love stitching a checkerboard. I just love it every time. And then I started this blackbird. So not a ton, but I just had slotted that one to start. And obviously I was doing a lot of other stuff. So I'm not surprised that I didn't get very far with that one. But again, I just wanted to start it. So you know this one, if you've been here before. I forgot to show it last month, but I did work on it last month. This project is what I'm calling my focus to finish this year. It is Blackbird Fractor. It's my oldest WIP. I started it as my new year start in January 22. And on the 1st of January. And starting at the beginning of this year, right? It had been 3 years since I started it, and all I had this big flower. And like that was it. I think I had maybe like that pumpkin too. So, you know, I knew I really had to get some motivation. And so I just made a goal to finish it this year. I think it's realistic still. This is where I'm at. So I finished filling in the sun, and I did that acorn down there and a lot more of the little like gate at the bottom. So basically what I need to do to finish this, there's a pumpkin at the foot of this bird over here. I obviously need to fill in the black on this bird and then finish the gate on this side. Oh, and I think I need to put the flames into the candles. Don't let me forget that. But yeah, we're pretty close. I'd love to finish it this month. I think it might be like a November finish if I had to guess. If I have to guess myself. The black in the birds and the chandelier is sulky black because I wanted it very dense. But in the gate and anywhere else, like there's black in these flowers. It's just 310. I'm mostly using the called for 310 it was called for mascara, but to me mascara looks exactly the same as 310, but the texture is much worse. It's like dry and it pulls, so I don't use mascara. Okay, this is an 805 stitcher bag, by the way. I love it very much, and I think it's perfect for this project. And I'm gonna have to find another bird project to put in it when I'm done, which won't be hard because I love birds and bird projects. All right, we've cleaned off the chair for the first batch of goodies. Next, we have plans and then collection development and whatnot. Okay, so next, this month, it's September 1st right now, and I keep forgetting because it doesn't feel real. This year, I mean, in my work life has been just non-stop crazy. So I don't know how it's September already, but it is, and that means it's almost October, which means it's almost Halloween, and that makes me happy. So a lot of people they stitch samplers in September, call it sampler September. It's kind of an community-wide stitch along, if you're unfamiliar. Probably most of you are familiar. I have not participated in the past, even though I love a theme, because I like to start stitching spooky stuff in September. So all of September and October is like just Halloween usually. What I decided this year, because I had several things kitted up that fit the theme, is I'm doing spooky sampler September. It's alliterative, so that's fun. But my first one, I got 4 of them. I got 4 of them that I had kitted already. And the first one I'm going to start after this video, after I film this video. So, and it's kind of like, I think the transitionary period, it's kind of like a late sticky southern summer, a little creepy because it's like southern gothic. Love, love, love. Creepy in that way that southern gothic is creepy because it deals with, you know, themes of guilt and trauma and secrets. Anyway, I love it. I'm sorry, this is black and white, but this is another House of Cam, Cave the Stitcher. It's the summer gothic sampler. And I'll probably, maybe I'll put up the color photo. Maybe not. So I ordered the floss. I'm decided I am doing it all in the called for, and the called for is beautiful. So please go see Cam. Like, go to Cam's video. There's one that she posted where she's holding up this, her finished model that she stitched, and I think that you should go watch her video and listen to her talk about it, because I really love to hear her talk about like what this meant to her. I think we have a lot in common as far as like, you know, culturally how we grew up. So that's, I don't know, I get it. And I really liked this. So I believe this is the fabric I'm going to stitch this on. Let me show you the floss first. So I don't have them. This is the thing I actually have to do right after I finish this video, is put these on floss drops. Because I haven't done that yet. I just got the floss in this week. So okay. So there's these like teals, mauves, and then a couple of these icky greens that I love. Yeah. So I'm so thrilled about that. And I really wanted to play up the color. I think this is gonna look really good. So this is actually a lot more orange than it's showing. It's orange. I'm not gonna be, oh, that looks brown. That makes me sad. This is, if you want to know what it looks like, you probably go to Brandy's website, because it's a Bee Stitch Me flan. And that's not what it looks like at all. Like at all. It's orange. Like, it's not neon orange, but it's orange. And I think it's gonna look really cool with these. And everything's gonna really pop and just be like rich, and I don't know. I'm really excited about this one. So I'm gonna start this one today. To me, this is the perfect time of year for that. There's just this like slowness that happens this time of year in the South. It's still very sticky here. And then for the, my general goal when I have like 4 starts is like 1 a week. So that'll be my general goal, but a lot of times I just get like really into it and I start like 2 of them or something. So this is the only other one that I have fully kitted, so not true. I lied. Never mind. It's the only one that I have already cut and like zigzag edged the fabric. That's what I meant. So it's Jenny Bean's, what is it? Jenny Bean's Halloween Sampler by Kitten Stitcher, Teresa Vanette. If you haven't watched her Flosstubes, she's delightful. Go watch her Flosstubes and go to her shop. She has a shop, kittenstitcher.com. And then she used to have a brick and mortar called Shakespeare's Peddler, and her name is Teresa Vanette. And there was another design name that she used to design under with one of her friends, but I don't remember. So you might hear people say like any of those things to refer to her. Legend. Okay, this I have already, as I said, cut out my fabric. It is on Grace Notes Hazelnut. So it's this nice, I don't know, beigey tan, but it has some really subtle like green modeling in it. So I'm happy with that. I do have the called for, oh, I have this needle minder that I've already picked out apparently. It's a key. Love that. I have the called for, okay, so mostly, I mostly have the called for, and then I've also, it looks like, put on 310 and Blanc of DMC Floche, which I don't know what craft this is like intended for, but it's a cotton string that is about the thickness of two strands of DMC, like regular DMC embroidery floss. And so sometimes, so on something like this is 36, I'm gonna stitch with one strand, but there's a lot of black stitching in here, and sometimes I use Floche every once in a while in places similar to how I use the Sulky Black. They're similar. Sulky Black, the difference is that the Floche, because of how it's woven, it can kind of like settle a little more. Sulky stays in like, it's like spun, it's a cylinder, so it stays like that, whereas the Floche can kind of settle a little more, but they're both just thicker options for stitching in black. Like, the only reason that really matters is sometimes because of the contrast between a black thread and most fabrics, you're gonna see like the demarcation of the X more. It's not gonna like blend in as much to the fabric, and so it's gonna make it look more sparse. It's about preference. It doesn't actually matter that much. But like some people stitch with 2 strands of DMC 310 when they're otherwise doing 1 for the rest of the project, or even 3 if they're doing 2. So this is how I like to do it. Next, I'm really excited about, the picture's not great, so I will take it out of the plastic because it's already, it's hard to see without the glare of the plastic. But I'm kind of excited. Sometimes when a cover photo isn't great, it's even more fun to stitch because it's like you get to discover what it looks like as you're stitching it. I don't know if that's kind of weird, but the tree is what drew me to this, and I could see the tree just fine in this, and that funny bird. So this is Not Forgotten Farms Old Wick Burying Ground. So we've got a Halloween sampler and then a cemetery sampler. This is kind of a sampler. It is to me. Okay. It just calls for a few DMC. I love that. Like, she does the most with, most of her designs are in DMC, which is, I think, really impressive based on like what her designs look like. I do know that for her models, like if they look variegated, the reason usually is that she treats the project after she stitches it with that walnut spray, like the dye, to age it. I mean, she does that one, the like floss is already in there. So, and I think she has a video about it on her, I think she's made floss tubes. I don't know if she makes a lot of them, but I'm pretty sure that's how I know that. Okay, this is the last sampler kind of thing I plan to start. This is Scattered Seed Samplers Remember Me. I'll take it out. I'm gonna take out the supplies I have in here anyway. Beautiful. I've loved this since I saw it, and I think one of the things I really love about it is the floss colors that are in it. Again, these are just DMC, not just DMC, but they are DMC. And there's some, there's some of these like tans and browns. And then I think the standout colors that really make it is this blue and this green. This blue is just so pretty. It's 823. I have selected a, what count is this? 32 count, that makes sense. 32 count vintage country mocha. So this is just the oversprayed. It's a Zweigart, and it's like modeled on one side because it's oversprayed. I think that'll be really nice for this project. So I need to measure it and cut it before I start it probably, and then I need to pick a fabric for the Old Wick Bearing Ground. I have not done that yet. My last plan before we get into collection development. So my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, was over here. They live in Utah, but they were visiting, and she was in the house, and she pointed at one of my finishes. She goes, well, it's kind of funny. People come in the house, and they'll be like, did you do this one? Did you do this one? And I'm like, I did all of them. And they'll be like, but this one, though? Like, yep, that one too. So she pointed to my, it's a frog on a toadstool. I think it's in my, like, intro montage. That's a stitch sprout pattern. And she said, oh my god, like, she loved it, and she said, can you stitch me a mushroom? And I said yes. Even though, as I said it, I know that I really don't like stitching things for other people. It feels like an obligation. It stresses me out. There's a deadline. And I don't think, you know, for most, I have stitched gifts before, for sure. I've stitched several, but it's usually like a pretty special kind of person. But I'm like, well, my brother's wife's a special person, so I said yes, and it decided it wasn't an empty promise. So for Christmas, I'm making her it's a small design, if I must be honest, but I think that non-stitchers appreciate any size design. Like, they're not going to look at it and be like, oh, you like took the easy way out. She didn't stitch. Although I'm thinking about getting everybody in my family. So I taught my brother how to stitch several years ago, and he still does. Like, every once in a while, he likes to do it while he's watching football, because he loves football in the fall. And I think I'm gonna get both of them some Mill Hill ornament kits, like those little ones, for Christmas for their stocking. I think that would be cute. And even if they never stitch them, it's not the end of the world. So this is what I've done. She asked me if I could stitch her a mushroom. I said yes. I'm not going to stitch her something like that. Stitch sprout one took me a couple months. I'm sorry. I'm not doing that. But I have this vintage pattern book that has several mushrooms in it, and I remembered I had that, so I said okay. So I picked one. Sorry, this is not going to be it's really small. That's the best picture that's in this. And it's called like rust mushroom, I think. I've picked out this. It's a 32 count fall leaf. And then here's the flosses. I think this will look really nice. The one thing is that this 402 color is brighter than it was, who knows when this, like, these are hand-drawn patterns, which they're well done. I'm not worried about it. 1981. So the dye has changed. So what I plan to do after I'll probably bombinate this and then take a few strands and coffee dye them and just see how they look. I think that's what I'll do, just to make it look a little more authentic and match the other colors, because it kind of stands out in a way that's not my favorite, like from these other earthy colors. That is my plan. So I need to start this, like, honestly, this week if I have any plans to finish it, because I've mentioned this before, but not in this video. I decided this is my year of starts. Don't love starting things. Sometimes, like this month, I get into a little, I get into a rhythm starting things, but overall, in general, I don't love starting things. It's a little stressful getting stuff up, seeing what materials I have and what I don't, figuring out what floss I need. It's just a lot of mental work. And so I tend to start maybe like something like once a month or less. So about like 10 things a year normally. This year, I think I've already started 25. And that was because I don't really want to have to start anything like for a while, right? But I like to have a lot of different things to stitch on. So I wanted to have a lot of whips going without having to, get the work done up front. So because of that, I've finished like 3 things this year, 2 or 3 things, which I knew, like, that's the trade-off, right? but I need to finish this in a few months, which is doable. It is definitely doable as long as I start it now. So, plan. Start that. I'm going to put that over here, so I definitely start it. So, we have made it. We've made it to collection development, and that's all I really have, like, for the rest of this video. So, first is cross stitch collection development. I do have a couple books I wanted to show you, but let's get right into it. So this is a book that I found at the thrift store for 99 cents. It's called Whimsical Cross Stitch, and I just thought it was so charming. If I had to guess copyright on this, I'd say like late 90s, early 2000s. '94. Okay. But this you know, reminds me of my childhood again. It's got some cute, I want to do that one maybe. He's kind of huge, but I do want to do him. I definitely want to do that heart that's on the front, but there's different versions. Like there's this one that's smaller, made it into like a brooch, which is very cute. So I might do the smaller version instead of like the big pillow version. The one thing about these charts though that I didn't really notice till I got home is that they don't use symbols. They just use the colors. Like that's the pattern. I mean, I can barely see it, so you're not gonna be able to. But so I'm gonna have to figure out exactly how I'm gonna navigate that. I might just have to like go with it and stitch from the book. Like, how on earth are you supposed to stitch this hat? It's just black. I don't know. But I really like them. Look at this guy. Ah, oh my goodness. Ah, he's so cute. I think he might be my favorite. So I'm gonna have to figure something out. But like, what? I really want to do it though. So yoinks, he's big. What? How big is this pattern? They didn't really do stitch counts a lot of the time. They would tell you like how big the finished design will be. Yeah. And I don't want to count, so I don't know. But very cute. Love it. Sorry. I got some fabric because, oh, you know what? Okay. Don't listen to me. That, the fall leaf is not what I'm stitching that mushroom on. I am stitching it on flax, which has the little like specks in it. I think she'll really like that. She's kind of like nature-y. She's a soil scientist, so I think she'll like that. I had that one in there because there's another pattern in there I want to stitch for myself when I'm done with hers. That's what that was for. I was looking at it and I was like, I think this cut's too small for this pattern. It would be. Okay, that makes sense. So yes, I got a 32 count flax. And I got extra. There'll be enough for me to do another small in there. Lamb's wool Joblin, 28 count. I've never stitched on a Joblin, and I wanted to. I know that like Pam from Pam and Steph loves Joblin, and Steph has mentioned recently that it's getting harder to find, and so I said to myself, well, if you're ever going to stitch on it, probably grab some now. So I did. Then I saw this and I thought it was really pretty. This is Mimosa Green, 32 count. And then I got some more fall leaf because I love it in a 32 and 32 count dirty, which I also like for neutral. me not liking kitting things up, it helps if this stuff's already in my house. I do kind of like playing around with my supplies. I don't like having to like figure out what I need to order. It's stressful. Okay, I got a few things online on eBay. Okay, when I made that fabric order and to buy the floss for those patterns, I also got my 2025 Just Cross Stitch Halloween ornament edition. I try to start like one of these projects every year. Like when I buy these every year, and I try to start at least one of them. I've marked like 9 that I like, but honestly, my 3 favorites are all on this page, so I was gonna show it. I love him. I like how sad he is. Oh, and then this one, the mushroom ghost, and then I think this is the one I'm gonna start. These little Halloween kitties. This is from Flossy Fox Shop, I think is what they're called. They do cool pixel art, and I haven't stitched one of their patterns yet. So it's a pretty good one. Pick it up if you enjoy Halloween stitching, I would suggest. And then the rest of these are eBay charts. So I found this Brooks Books Christmas ornament. It's not the kit, it's just the pattern. Jolly Teapot that I really like. I love that vintage look that a lot of her patterns had. So this is beautiful. Again, it's not the kit, so I don't have the beads or anything. And I'll need to buy some perforated paper. So it's probably not going to get started this year, but I'll put that in my Christmas collection. I don't have a huge like Christmas pattern collection, so when I find one I really like, I'll tend to grab it. I got this heartstrings. It's just called Cat's Ink. And it says, the artist collection presents Pat Theode? I don't know. So I don't know what, but it's a vintage chart, and I specifically, no, on this side, I specifically got, where is he? Okay, I got it for this little guy with the moon in his butt. I think he's really cute. And somebody did stitch one of these, and they like, so I was just looking at I was looking at this guy. He's like, this one, he's in 3 places. His ears are white. They didn't backstitch them, so he looks like his head is square on this. Anyway, I really liked the textures in this. Like, instead of just solid stitching, there's like some polka dots and checkers and stuff. So I was obsessed with that. This last one, y'all, it's dorky, and that's why I bought it. I also bought it because I had a medical procedure, and I was a little bit medicated, okay? And it cracked me up. I was on eBay, and I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. Don't. Okay, it's. I know. People don't like this style. I know. I find it charming. But the thing that, like, I was like, I have to make this for my office because it's a computer diva works here, cracks me up beyond reason, because, like, the concept that at one point your job was computer, it reminds me of a simpler time. And, heck yeah, I'm a computer diva. That's me. So that one and the hang in there kitty cat I want to do for my office at work. We just had to move offices, so might as well do some decorating. Okay, last bit, got a couple books. I got a couple books at our used bookstore. And I tend to, like, I'll go into different sections every time I go just to, like, mix it up. And so I went into the queer section, and so one of these is fiction and 2 of them are nonfiction. This one is a short story murder mystery collection from the 90s. It was printed by a Third Side Press, which was a feminist publisher. And these are all the authors. So they collected short stories from these queer authors. Look at this. Look at this. Ooh, spooky. So I'm excited about that. It's a good time of year for that. So it's like feminist horror is what it is. I'm really excited about this one. This one's nonfiction. It's stories from different people. So it's kind of like memoir style, but collaborative. And I've found the formatting of it kind of interesting. So they've done this like typeface design where some of the words are like pulled out like this. I really liked it. It's okay. So it's called Tomboys, and it's people wrote their experiences growing up, AFAB, but not conforming to what was expected, out of that. You know, if you know, you know. So I'm excited about that. I think, you know, it's just a piece of community. Speaking of piece of community, I found this. It's called Platforms 10 Years of Chances Dances. And I wasn't familiar because this was or is, I'm not sure. It was published in 2015, 10 years ago. So it would be 20 years if they're still going. But it's a series of performance shows, drag shows, etc. in Chicago, in particular community in Chicago. Let me see if I can find a picture I could show you. But it's performance art, drag, short, like, descriptions of short films that were done, dance, slam poetry. Here's some like short film and then a sculpture that they presented. It sounds very cool, and I'm excited to kind of learn about it. You know, it's not my community, but it's part of the greater community, and I think it's kind of like, this doesn't even have an ISBN or a barcode. Like, how did this get? I don't know. I don't know how it got to where it got down here in Tennessee, but I'm glad it did. You know, it seems like a community printed kind of thing. So I like having that kind of thing. I collect texts on queer history. I have one on the quilt that I might show one day, because that's sort of a really, really well-known and huge instance of what I think we now call craftivism. I don't think it would have been a term then, but anyhow, I'm rambling, which means I think it's time to go eat some lunch and hang out with my partner. But thank you everybody for stopping by, for spending time with me, and I think I have successfully recorded this in one go, and I will not have to spend 3 hours editing. I hope that watching me pause it and unpause it isn't too unsettling, but honestly, I don't think I notice that when I'm watching other people because I'm stitching. So letting go with perfection is always a practice, right? Okay. Drink some water. Eat something if you haven't. You deserve it. I promise.